Yo, 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 what up guys? Chris from the Unrelenting Brush checking in with you today. It's Saturday morning, it's 10 o'clock, that means something very special for today. It means Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Legions Imperialis, which is a mouthful, is up for pre-order right now. I've been really excited about this game since they revealed it. As I've gotten older in my wargaming hobby, I've started to appreciate epic scale stuff more. I like the ACW stuff and the epic battles from Warlord Games. I've been looking at some ancient 6mm stuff. So when they announced that they were doing Horus Heresy Epic, I was all over that. Games Workshop were exceptionally kind to send me out a box to preview, so thank you very much to them. They showed off my Legio Audax Warhound on the community article yesterday, which again I'm extremely grateful for. So thank you very much for this preview copy. Let's talk about it. So, this is just the top, because it's a beautiful cover. So, the game set within the Horus Heresy, which most people within the Warhammer universe know and love. It's epic scale. What that means is it's traditionally a lot smaller than conventional games. So Warhammer and 40k and Age of Sigmar are 28 to 32, what's called heroic scale. This stuff is dinky. This is epic scale. There's no precise measure on the size, but it's somewhere around the 6mm mark. Encouraged for mass battles, having as many models on the table as you could possibly squeeze on, enormous cityscapes, and then battling for supremacy over those set during the Age of Darkness. This box is fantastic for anyone wanting to get started, obviously. There's a few reasons for that. First off is value. The amount of stuff you get in here is enormous, and even though it is a lot of models, it comes out at somewhere around 1,000, maybe 1,200 point mark. And when your traditional game is supposed to be 3,000 points, that lets you know what you're in for when you're going to be getting into Imperialis. So, with that in mind, you get the Space Marine half, you get the Solar Auxilia half. I've painted all of the Solar Auxilia half, and I've done most of the Space Marines. There's just a few bits left to do. But I'm glad I've not finished those, because I'm going to talk about those in a bit. So, people will enjoy this game if you enjoy painting lots of little models, if you want to get lots of little models done quickly. I'm going to do some painting tutorials to show you how to do that. It's nowhere near as intimidating as some people may think it is. It's a lot easier than it seems, especially with speed paints and contrast and stuff like that. It's absolutely a doddle to get these guys done. Second of all, it's great if you enjoy the lore of the Horus Heresy, some of those larger battles, Calth, Beta Garmin, Terra. You can really do those more justice in this than you could the 28mm scale game. Likewise, the rules from what we've seen on the Warhammer TV Battle Report, it looks good fun. It doesn't look like there's too much to it, despite the fact there are some quite wordy universal special rules in there. It looks like it plays very quick. It looks like stuff dies exceptionally quickly. It looks like you're going to need to really plan your detachments and what their purposes are, and kind of synchronize what you want to do with your army to be able to play to the objectives that you want to do so. And alongside that, you get awesome detachments of flyers, you get the Titans, you get Space Marine, Solar Auxilia, and I dare say we'll see some more factions come out for the game in the near future. So there's a brief summary about the game, there's a brief summary about what the appeal of the game is, the features of it, why I'm excited for it. So now let's talk about the purpose of this video. I want to cover everything you need to know before opening your box. So if you're a modeler and a painter, there's a few things you want to keep an eye on. If you're looking to game, you're probably going to want to understand how many of these boxes you'll need, or how much additional of the expansion boxes you'll need. So I'm going to briefly go over those during this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that cringy social media nonsense. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, I have a website. I do regular product reviews, I do commission painting, I do hobby workshops, tuition, general nuisance on social media about the hobby, because I'm a lunatic about it. So please check me out, follow, like, click buttons, algorithms, social media buzzwords, all that nonsense. Nice one. So, Legions Imperialis comes with a really nice rulebook. It's hardback, it's thick, it's meaty, it's full of everything you need for the game. It's got all your special rules, all the lore, all that beautiful kind of semi-photo-realistic imagery that they're known for in the Heresy. So we know that this was supposed to come out in August. Then there was a delay. All I can say about that is they said there was going to be a delay. They sent out a revised copy of the book. I can't see much difference apart from the missions have changed. Now, whatever the speculation around that is, I know social media is rife with who's its, what's its guesses. I'll let you be the judge of that. Someone's probably going to notice it far more in depth than I will. But the only noticeable thing about the change in the rulebook from the original one is the missions. That said, it's a great book. It breaks everything down. I'm really excited to start playing. It could do with a quick kind of get started playing reference, you get cheat sheets in the box which explain the turn breakdown, the orders, some of the rules, blah blah blah. But what's really nice is a little kind of photo demonstration of a turn being played. Here's your orders, here's what that dictates, here's that happens, here's the movement, here's when Overwatch triggers. Personally, I'm a visual learner as opposed to a reader. Personally, I would have liked that. But, do you know what? I'm sure it won't be difficult. So, all the rules you need to play the game. It's got the rules for the Space Marines and the Solar Auxilia. It's got the rules for everything you get in the starter box. And a couple of other things we've seen. All the Titans are in here, including the Direwolves. All your Knights, all your Legion special rules are in here as well. All your Aeronautica stuff, your Marauders, and your... what are they called? Marauders and your Thunderbolts, and your Furies and stuff. Lightnings, Thunderbolts. Malcadors. And your... Super Heavies. So yes, there aren't rules for everything they've shown, so the stuff they've shown coming in the near future, your Draco Sands, your... Spartans, Land Raiders, the rules for those aren't in there, so they're probably going to be in an expansion book or in the box. We kind of saw that coming. It would have been nice if they were in there. It helps us plan a bit more and be excited about what we want to include in our lists, but that's the way it be. So, love the book. Revisions must be small. Again, someone's going to spot it a lot more than I am. I'm not a big reader. Overall, great book. Explains the game nicely. Really, really excited to get some games in. Wonderful. Now, let's talk about when you crack open that box, get the sprues out and start hobbying. So when I opened my box, I had a quick look over everything. If you've ever played games like Star Wars Legion and stuff like that, some of those sprues can be a little bit twitchy in terms of things come off during transport, you get bits missing on the sprue. Not the end of the world, we can work with it. However, be aware of that because obviously these pieces are exceptionally small. So for the infantry, for instance, the Dreadnoughts come in this section. I had a leg missing and a body missing on the sprue. Look inside your box, take the black cardboard insert out, chances are they're knocking around in there. I messaged Games Workshop about this and said they need to be aware of it, just in case people say, like, my sprue's missing a bit, give me a free box. Double check your box, take the insert out, chances are they're in there. Second of all, with the sprues, people were asking about measurements. I had a quick measure of a Space Marine, because for reasons I won't discuss, for obvious reasons, people want to know how tall these are. They measure up at about, from the base to the top of the head, 6 mil, give or take. Yeah, 6, maybe 7 mil. For everybody asking. Now, with your Space Marines, again, check you've got all the components on the sprue and they're not floating around inside the box. You can paint pretty much everything on the sprue. So, with the Space Marines, clip your contemptors out and build those, glue them to a base, paint them like that, no problem. The only time it got a little bit tricky was with the missile launchers. So the missiles come dotted over the frame and they attach to the support squad. So all I did was clip those off the sprue and glue them while the guys are still attached to the sprue. There is no reason I can see why you wouldn't paint these guys on the sprue, and I'll explain that in more detail shortly. So clip the missile launchers off, glue them to the guys, otherwise everything on here can be painted on sprue. Your Assault Marines have got attachments to their jump packs. You can clip those, shave them, clip them off the sprue, and still paint these guys while they're attached if you want to be a little bit more neater about it. I did that with the first lot and it came out fine. I didn't do that with these guys. I'm sure they'll turn out okay. It's nothing I can't sort. So again, everything exclusively apart from the Assault Marines is attached purely from the underside of their little base rock thing, their tactical rock. So there is no reason why you can't paint these guys all on the sprue. In terms of the Space Marines, so that's your full sprue apart from the Contemptor Dreadnought. Here's the sprue with all the guys I finished over here. So as you can see, you do get leftover Jump Marine, a couple of Tackies, Plasma Man, Missile Dude with no missile, and a Cataphracti. These are the guys who are replaced with Sergeants in no squads. So this is great for a few reasons. You can do testers for other legions if you want to, or you can do what I'm going to do and glue these to the bases of your Titans. I'm going to wait for the ruin bits to come out, for the scenery, attach those to the bases, have these guys manning barricades, and I think that's going to look great. So once you've got your guys fully painted on their sprue, like these guys are going to be, all you then need to do is clip them off and attach them to the bases. The bases are dead easy to paint. All I did was spray, grey, add a wash, dry brush, pretty much done. Then clip the guys off the sprue, clean the underside of the tab, a little bit of super glue, down they go. The instructions are fairly clear about who goes on what base, because you want your squads to be like differential, you want them to have variants, and make sure your sergeant's not doubled up. All explained in the instructions. Again, freeball it, it's very hard to get wrong. And again, it looks amazing. In terms of the tanks, we have Leman Russ, Malcadors, Sicarans, Predators. They glue together beautifully. You can pretty much get them all built probably in an afternoon. There's very, very few pieces. Somebody asked about the vehicles, if the side sponson weapons matter in terms of rules. There are rules for the different loadouts, so there's rules for the accelerator cannon, the plasma guns, the heavy bolter sides, the las cannon sides, but no points differences. The points are set to the unit. What you give them doesn't matter. So for that purpose, if you want a thematic anti-vehicle armoured company and give them all las cannons and plasma and annihilators, amazing, do it. I'd mix and match just because I like a varied list. I want it to be kind of versatile where it needs to be. And it's nice for a painting purpose to mix it up. So here's the Solar Auxiliary Infantry sprue. Again, clip off your Ogrins, clip off your Aethan Walkers, glue those to bases, paint them on there. All your infantry are attached to the sprue from the underside of their tactical rock, apart from the flagman. Again, clip that at the flag, trim it away there, no problem whatsoever. Paint them all on the sprue. I could paint a sprue of these probably in a couple of hours. There is very, very little work needed to do to make them look amazing, but I'll cover that another time. The Titans, I got a few questions actually about the Warhounds in the box. So it's the standard Warhound kit that you know and love. I still absolutely adore all the Titan range from Adeptus Titanicus. Wonderful game, wonderful range, and I'm really happy to finally have some Legio Audax on the go. So somebody asked about magnetization, because some of the larger Titans have holes for magnets in the weapons. These now obviously come with a new sprue of weapons. Here it is. Sadly, no holes for magnets. I'm not fussed, I don't magnetize my Warhounds, I just glue all the weapons in, because if I want different loadouts I'll buy more Warhounds. But again, there's means out there, there's adapters, you can just drill holes for magnets, do what you want to do, no problem at all. So this is the only weapon sprue you get for the Warhounds. You don't get the old one with the Vulcan Mega Bolters, the Turbo Lasers, the Plasmas and such. Which, you know, makes sense, but we don't know what these weapons do in Adeptus Titanicus yet, which is a shame because I love that game, I still want to play it after this comes out. So I have no idea what the Melt Gun does, I don't know what the missile launchers do. A pain, but I'll make do. Hopefully we'll get the rules when the full box game comes out. We might get some cards to use in Adeptus Titanicus with the updates on there, fingers crossed. But otherwise, all these weapons are great. You get 2 of each on the sprue. So that means you can double out, you can have 2 Ursus Claws across the Titans, 2 Natrix Sox Lancers, 2 Melter Guns. Bosh. My second Warhound is going to be kitted out a little bit more traditionally, so I'm just waiting to get some of those weapons because I got rid of all my spares. Once that's done, I'll have 2 Legio Audax Titans. The plan is to run a mana pool of 5, and then maybe I'll run 2 mana pools of 5 eventually for Adeptus Titanicus. In terms of the models themselves, we'll talk about the tanks. So, your spinny sponsor weapons on the side are not spinny. They're 28mm, obviously spin, and do what you need to do. These don't. You can magnetize them. Why you'd want to, I don't know. It's too small and finicky for me to be bothered with. The turret weapons come on and off. Again, you get additional weapons for the turret weapon, which you can magnetize or swap out. But again, why would you want to? These paint up absolutely beautifully, and you've got some transfers from your traditional 28mm Heresy transfer sheet knocking around. You'll make use of some of the smaller ones on there. I thought turret facings would make a difference in the game, but after watching the Warhammer TV Battle Report, evidently not. So if you want to just super glue these in to stop bits flying around and going missing, you can do. If I've got that wrong, I apologise, but yeah, from the video on Warhammer TV, turret facings had no impact whatsoever. It seemed to be 360 line of sight from the model, not the turret. Likewise with the Amalcadors, there's no turret weapons there. The side weapons, which are las cannons, are set in, but with a bit of wiggle. Top gun spins. Again, doesn't make a difference, but it's cool. We like spinning mechanics on our dies. Again with the Leman battle tanks, turrets, detachable. Love them. Okay, I think that's covered most of the bits and bobs in terms of the modelling aspect of it. Now let's talk about some painting. So, Legio Audax I'm going to do a painting video for because everybody's asked about how I did the stippling and the transfers and stuff, so incoming video for that once I've got the other one's weapons sorted, so watch this space. Space Marines and World Eaters. Warhammer TV did a video recently showing you how to paint all the legions. I would borrow some of their information but not use all of it. Personally, as a painter, as someone who paints lots of models every day, wants to get them done quick, looking to a good standard, speed paints, zenithals, contrasts, inks, these are how you want to paint these. So the World Eaters, the camera starts wobbling, were done with the white zenithal, then washed with Soul Blight Grey, Azuman Blue on the blue details, black on the weapons, then silver highlights, and a little bit of green contrast in the eyes. That's it. The studs were painted very, very delicately with some, what was that, light bronze, maybe? Light bronze from Proacro? But yes, do your contrast for the most of the work, and then do your little details afterwards. So, for example, Tac Squad, recognisable. Exactly the same as I did those. Whitewash, blue, painted the weapons black, and then dotted some silver on there for the silver details. And a little bit of green in the eyes. That easy. And again, when you think about it, painting them all on sprue, how you attack it is, you do one side, you do all the wash, flip, all the wash, dry. Then you do all the blue, then you flip, all the blue, let it dry. And you can easily knock one of these out in a couple of hours. Honestly, if you've got a hairdryer at hand and you know the paints you've got, and once you've done a few frames, you can knock these out in no time whatsoever. And getting 3k of an army for Legions Imperialis is going to be a lot easier than I think a lot of people have misconceptions about. So again, I cannot stress this, leave your inventory on the frame, it's going to be a lot easier to paint, don't clip them off, don't glue them to sticks, it's a waste of time. Use the sprue, you're going to paint them a lot quicker, you're not going to lose them because they're attached to the sprue, and it's going to make the whole process a lot easier and quicker. For the Solar Auxilia, let me get some more Velatory because I love those. These were attacked in a similar way, so these reflect a 28mm Solar Auxilia army I had but had to sell sadly. All I did with these was spray them black and then zenithal them Mechanica Standard Grey. I then dotted out bright red from Proacryl onto the fabrics. Again, you don't need to be neat, you just need to have a general idea of where they are. Elbows, behind the legs, front of the arms. There you go. I then did silver from Proacryl on all the weapons. Washed all of it with some Proacryl black wash. Let it dry. Dotted the weapons. Filled the silver back in on the axe heads. Used some Telesar blue on those. Not Telesar blue, what was it? Frost Heart. Frost Heart on the axe blades to make them look like power weapons. That's it. You can dot eyes. You can dot little gold brassy details. You can dot trim. But it doesn't take a lot to get these guys looking fantastic. Similarly with the vehicles, it was black, grey overspray, stripes using red and bone. They vary across the whole tank and loadouts because I want them to be from different squadrons. Dry brush a lighter grey, dry brush the tracks is even lighter grey than that. Do your silver details, all over wash with black wash from Proacryl. Dot your lenses, dot your weapons. Done. It took longer to build the tanks than it did to paint them all. You could easily paint all of these in an hour or two. Ogrins, we love them. Big transmutated human mutants, but don't call them that. Likewise, these are like the Solar Auxilia rifles, just scaled up, so you can see the red details, see the black details, some silver, some gold. It's that easy. You don't need to pick out any ridiculous highlights, you certainly don't need to layer several acrylic paints on there, as some of the examples I've seen. Contrasts, speed paints, zenithals, this is how you're going to get these 3k armies done in no time. So, my only issues I have with this box so far is, first off, components falling off the sprue and going in the box. Not ideal. I don't know if there's a way they can prevent that with better packaging, or if it's a warehouse issue with people manhandling them. Again, easy fix. But the last thing you want to do is open this box, tip it over, lose a bit, gone forever. That then means you're down a squad of Ogrins, which then means you need to fish for another sprue and get one. Again, that's not the be-all and end-all. The delay, yeah, can't be helped, annoying. It would have been nice if the hype met the release. But all it means now is we're going to have to spend more of our hard-earned Christmas money on getting our armies up to scratch. Knowing what the issue was with the rulebook would be nice. I'm excited to see what someone says about that, but again, not for me to say because I'm not that good at reading, apparently. Otherwise, you're going to need a lot of models to play this game. Like I say, here is about just over 1,000 points. You can obviously fill that out with more Titans, Baneblades, Super Heavies, Kratos, but limiting the percentage of allies you can have in an army of Titans or Solar Auxilia or Space Marines means you're going to have to really kind of play around and focus on getting your infantry up to get the objectives, to then build around that to get your 3k lists. But again, if you don't want to run big armies, Legion Imperialis isn't for you. Otherwise, my main constructive critique of the box specifically is the detachment. So there's detachments on you running your Space Marines, your Solar Auxiliaries, your Titans, that's all fine and dandy. However, I like a box knowing that you can use everything inside of it, straight out of it, built, painted, and play. The Space Marine Demi Company detachment only lets you take one battle tank detachment in it, and there are 2 battle tank detachments in the box, your Sicarans and your Predators. Which means you're then going to have to choose which one of these to use. The other ones are going to have to stay out. You've not got enough in the box to have 2 Demi Companies to run alongside each other. I think, if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments and I'll shut up. But again, it'd be nice if it came with a sheet of, here's the detachment that you use in the box, get it all built, get it all painted, slap that down on the table in front of you. Here's your cheat sheet, here's a turn-by-turn demonstration with pictures of a turn in the game. Go. Foolproof, idiot-proof, pretend someone like me doesn't know what they're doing, because 9 times out of 10 I don't. Make it as simple as possible. Cost-cutting, printing, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. That's it. As far as it goes, not being able to run everything in the box in an army, I think I'll persevere. Otherwise, models are fantastic, the game looks really, really fun to play. I'm a huge fan of narrative play, so the thought of running a Battlefleet Gothic game, which affects my Titanicus games, which affects my Legions Imperialis games, which affects my 28mm Horus Heresy games, ticks all my boxes. That's what I'm excited about. So watch your space for more Legions Imperialis stuff coming out. I'm going to do some painting videos on my World Eaters, my Solar Auxilia, and my Audax. Please like, follow, subscribe, follow me on the socials. Any questions or comments, please leave them if it's constructive. I'd love that. If you've got any questions about the box, I'd love to help if I can. Otherwise, thank you very much for stopping by. Enjoy Legions Imperialis. See you from the top-down battlefield. Catch you on the flippy dip. Peace. Nothing but love.